Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to be testing out the JML Lazer bonds, and this kind of works like a glue, but it isn't actually a glue, it's a liquid plastic. So the kind of thing it reminds me of is, you know, a 3D printer where the nozzle comes down and squirts out a bit of plastic, and then it moves to the next layer, does another bit of plastic, and it builds it up and builds it up, and it works in layers, and then it gives you the finished product. Well, that's kind of like what this is. So for example, it's like a plastic welder. So if you were just to stick two bits together, it's not going to work because this bit in the middle, it needs to be activated by UV light. That's this little thing at the top here. So basically, we just put a tiny little dot on whatever we're sticking, and then we need to get the UV light on it, and then it will set. So between 3 and 8 seconds. Now I know full well that things never work like they do in the adverts, so in this test today I've got a variety of different things. So for example, I've got some scissors here that I've snapped here. I want to see if it will weld that together. I've got this part of my fridge here which holds a temperature sensor in it, and as you can see these two here are just about to break, and these two have already broken. So I want to see if I can stick these two, and also I want to see if I can kind of form two more clips at the bottom here by building up the layers. I've got a little radio control helicopter here. I need to just put that back onto it. I've got a fidget spinner here with a crack in it. I've got a nunchuck from a Wii controller. This is rubber. It's got a bit out of the bottom here. I just want to feel that up so it feels nicer on your thumb. I've got some goggles here that have snapped, so I want to see if I can weld them back together. And also I've got a cable. Pretend now that we were doing some gardening and we damaged an outside cable. This is a telephone cable. Obviously it's not going to weld wires together. The wires inside are intact apart from that one there where you can see the copper shining. But I want to see if we can fill up that gap there to stop water getting into it. Also I've got a Tamiya radio control car here where I want to stick one of the pretend lights back onto it. And again, another radio control car with a dodgy wheel. So the reason it could be better than using super glue is because the problem with super glue is you've got to work so quickly. You know, you've got to get it on and then you can make a mess, you can slip. With this, you've got all the time in the world because it's just a liquid and it will stay a liquid forever until you put that UV light on it. So it's a lot less stressful to use. So let's give it a go. First of all, let's try and do these scissors here. Now it says to do it for 3 to 8 seconds, and I'm going to do it for the maximum amount of time. So this is the thing we want to be fixing here. So I'm going to be just going around the edge and I'm going to be then shining the light on it. So it comes in a little applicator like this, and we just need to put it in there. You can see it is pure liquid. And it's only when we put the light on it that it's going to go hard. Right, so I've done it all the way around the edge now, and I've got plenty of time. I can just wipe off my nozzle. And you can detach the light from here if you want, or you can just leave it on. So let's see it now, see how long it takes. Sometimes you can actually see a bit of steam coming up when you do this. Now I'm not going to force it together, I want this to actually fill the hole itself. Now with this, because it's all the way round, we're going to have to hold it on each part for 3 to 8 seconds and then move it round. Right, for the rest of the video now, when I'm doing this, I'm just going to be fast forwarding through it because you don't need to see me holding the UV light on it for 8 seconds on each part. And then you can feel it to see if it's tacky or wet, and if it's not, then it should be done. Now I'm not going to try it just yet because I'm going to let it cool. Alright, next thing, I'm going to be using this on the little radio control helicopter here. Alright, now with this is quite good because I can just hold it and do it at the same time. So rather than having to keep my hand really steady for ages, I can just hold it there, shine the light on it for a few seconds until it takes, and then I should be able to let go. So now you can see it's taken, and now what I'm going to do is take my time and do it properly all the way round. So I'm happy with that. It's nice and looks nice and straight. And I'm holding it just under 1 centimetre away from it. And can you see how I'm moving the light along the bead? And to give it extra strength, you can go over and you can give it another layer. So for example, just like if you were welding metal together, you would put a bead, a fillet along here and a fillet along here. You can do exactly the same. So if you think about it more like welding rather than gluing. Okay, that's that one. Let's do the cable next. And it comes with the batteries and everything to be able to do this. Now it doesn't look like you can change the batteries, but then realistically the liquid is going to run out probably before the batteries do. Next we're going to try and do these goggles. Now they recommend you don't do any more than 1mm at a time, so if you're trying to fill up a big void, you're going to have to do it bit by bit. Right, I'm going to do this car wheel next. Next we're going to do the Grasshopper here. Now this has had many repairs to it with super glue and they just keep on failing. Next we're going to do this nunchuck here. Right, lastly we're going to be doing this fridge. So I want to try and repair these two because these two are about to break. You can see the catches, they've broken. And I'm going to try to actually, like a 3D printer, I'm going to try to build up a couple of catches on this side. So this is going to use a lot of the glue up. So you can see there how it's starting to build up. Right, okay, so we're all done. Let's test it out and see if it's any good or not. Now, I will say I bought this out of my own money, so I don't really care if it works or it doesn't work. I haven't got anything to prove. I just think it's quite neat how it works. It's a lot cleaner on your hands. You don't get super glue stuck everywhere. Right, okay, let's start with the helicopter. So this is just very lightweight here, so let's just see how that feels. Yep, that feels pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's look at the cable next. Right, that definitely hasn't stuck. You see there? So that hasn't stuck to the cable. Probably because the cable's too smooth. It does recommend that you can rough it up with sandpaper if you want to get a better join. So there we go. That's that hasn't worked at all there. You can see that it's just stuck to each other and not to the cable. So I definitely wouldn't recommend putting it on any sort of cable. Even if you're roughing it up, you might as well use amalgamating tape would be the best thing to fix that. So that rubberized tape that sticks to itself called amalgamating tape, definitely use that on cable. Let's have a look at the Wii Nunchuk. Now with this here, this is just made out of rubber, and all it was just to take the edge off it because it had been kind of ripped there, and that has seemed to have that has taken. It's the whole rubber that's moving there. Yeah, so that feels okay. Happy enough with that. Fidget spinner, I'm not really going to be able to tell because it was only a hairline crack anyway, but you would hope that it's given it a bit more strength. Let's have a look here now, see if that plastic has welded in. This is the car wheel. That feels very strong. Yeah, definitely happy with that. That's good. Let's do this one here. Remember the light now just keeps snapping off whenever I put it on super glue. As soon as I roll this car over, it snaps. Right, I'm really going to go for it now. Do you know what? That's all right. No, there you go. So that's gone as well. But I was doing that onto super glue, and it took quite a bit of strength to get it off. I would say that was about as strong as the super glue. So not great, but you know, it's not going to work miracles. Let's have a look at the goggles now. Right, you can see this is the good side, and you can see it's joined on the inside from the factory. And this is the side that we did rubbish. Yeah, I can still feel it's sticky, it's still wet. So what's happened there is the UV light cannot penetrate it to stick it on the inside. So in that instance there, that hasn't worked. That hasn't worked at all. Now this one here, this is for the fridge. Now remember, these two are very loose. They've stuck nicely. Right, that's stuck very well. And this is the bit we kind of made up. Now you'd never be able to do this with super glue, it would take forever. But this is the bit we've made up, kind of like 3D printing. And you know what? It's okay. I mean, remember, the whole plastic's flexible anyway. I think that's going to work. I think when I put that back in my fridge, I don't care that it doesn't look good, because all I need to do is clip it into the fridge. It's not going to be seen. It's going to be like that. It's going to be flush there. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's have a look at the scissors. How did they do? No, rubbish. Yeah, you can just see. It's just separated, so it sticks to each other well. But again, this is probably too smooth to actually get a good surface to stick to. You know what? I think it probably works better with softer plastics. Yeah, so lightweight, soft plastic. Things like this is a very small and lightweight, and things like this. So, is it any good? It's okay. It is worth getting for certain jobs. For example, that there, how else would you do that? That's going to be quite hard to do in any other way. So for certain things it would be worth having. So it's one of those things that it would be useful to have in the house, along with super glue and along with epoxy glue. So different things for different jobs. Hopefully by just testing those things there, you'll have a better idea of whether this is going to work for you. So you might be happy because you might have saved yourself £10, or you might think, do you know what, I'm going to give that a go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.